everyone. This is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger, here with my new Empowered Moments video for the week of Monday, September 26th through Sunday, October 2nd, 2022. For this week's weekly Empowered Moments video, we're going to be using the Universal Celtic Tarot by Christina Scagliotti for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. So this week is pretty busy astrologically. There's a lot going on. But one of those things that's going on is that Mercury, which has been retrograde for about the last 3 weeks, well, going on the last 3 weeks, is turning back to direct motion at the end of this week. So let's go ahead and start out first by doing an empowered moment. So let's close our eyes, relax your body, and clear your mind of all thoughts of the day, the week, the month. Making sure your feet are flat on the floor with your legs uncrossed. Focusing your attention to the energy of spirit, universe, source, that's all around you, that's always all around you. That energy of healing, guidance, and peace. And as you're visualizing, sensing, or seeing, or just knowing that you're surrounded in that light, that golden white light, that peaceful and grounding white light, let's breathe it in deeply to every cell of our bodies, breathing in that golden white light of balance and clarity, guidance and peace. And as you exhale, you're letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. And let's focus our attention to the mental realm, the mental body, that place where we have our thoughts, ideas, perceptions, where we communicate, where we have to make decisions, where we need to come up with a plan or strategy. And as Mercury has been retrograde for the last little while, it's given us the opportunity to revise our plan, to research information, to go back and think over conversations and communications we've had with others, and if need be, to rectify that situation by bringing in more clarity and having additional interactions. And now that Mercury is turning back to direct motion, we ask for guidance on clarity. We ask for guidance regarding making decisions in our life, regarding our relationships, our projects, our career, our life path and destiny path. We ask that all confusion be lifted. We ask that the information that we need be given. We ask our angels and guides to provide us with those messages that will best assist us in moving forward. And let's take one last deep, healing, cleansing, balancing breath. And when you're ready, in your own time, you can open your eyes and come back to this time and this place. Let's go ahead and start this Empowered Moments video with, well, we did the Empowered Moment, but let's go ahead and look at our stones of choice. Now I've got 3 new special intentions, but I have not yet been able to infuse through Reiki the intentions into these pendants. So I'm going to be giving you the actual energy of the stone that creates this pendant. So our first stone of choice here is garnet. This garnet is wrapped in golden wire, but garnet is a very deep, rich, reddish stone. In fact, it's so deep and rich, it's almost a reddish brown colored. But garnet is that beautiful red stone. It revitalizes and purifies and balances our energy. It inspires love and devotion. It helps to alleviate emotional disharmony, and it provides a sense of courage. So again, this is garnet. Your second stone of choice is sodalite. I think last week it might have been, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago now, I had orange blue sodalite. This one is just blue sodalite, a nice deep, rich blue sodalite. This brings order and calmness to the mind. It encourages rational thought, and it provides objectivity, truth, and intuition. And it helps with the communication of our feelings. And this one you can see is wrapped in silver wire. All right, and then our last stone of choice is a raw piece of emerald. And I have had emerald on not too long ago, but that one sold, and this is a brand new one. So this is a raw piece of green emerald wrapped in silver wire. This helps to open the heart chakra and calms the emotions. This one provides balance and inspiration. Balance and inspiration. It helps to give us wisdom and patience, and it promotes peace and harmony and bliss. So again, taking a look at those stones of choice, we've got the garnet. Looks like the light is flashing on that. The sodalite. And the emerald. Okay. So let's talk about the busy week we have ahead of us astrologically. On Monday, the 26th of September, and by the way, this particular weekly reading brings us into a new month, the month of October. So pretty soon here, hopefully by the time this publishes, probably not by the time it publishes, but soon after this weekly reading, we will have the October monthly Empowered Moments video up on my YouTube channel. So make sure to look for that as well, so you can get the overview of the whole month of October as we're moving into and transitioning into that new energy. So on Monday the 26th, we have Venus in Virgo. Now, Venus rules love and relationships. She rules personal resources like money and finances. She rules our values and how we value ourselves, our sense of self-worth. She's in Virgo, which can be a little bit of a difficult placement because Virgo is very detailed oriented, likes to pick through things or understand things down to the detail, picks things apart a little bit. It can be a little self-critical, and it can just be a little bit overly logical and analytical for Venus's tastes. But on Monday, Venus is going to be in a positive connection with Pluto, and Pluto rules transformation and regeneration, death and rebirth. It's all about change, right? Big changes and empowerment. So this, Pluto rules disempowerment energies too, but also empowerment energies. And this is a positive connection. So Venus, ruler of the divine feminine, connecting with empowering, powerful, transformative Pluto. And we can really step into our power in some way, shape, or form on that day. And then also on Monday, we've got Mercury, which is also in Virgo right now. And Mercury rules the mental realm, our mind, our thoughts, our logic, our patterns of thinking, our communication, perceptions. Mercury is still, as of this time, early in the week, retrograde in Virgo. It started out retrograde in Libra, the sign of partnerships, but it's now moved back into Virgo for a little bit. And again, Virgo is one of the signs that Mercury rules. It rules both Gemini and Virgo, so it's quite at home here in this logical, analytical, thinking process sort of sign. And Mercury in Virgo is going to connect with Venus in Virgo. Okay, so again, looking at the details of a project, understanding the small things within any kind of situation or circumstance, or even within relationships, since he's connecting with Venus. So we're kind of picking through things, picking apart, we're analyzing, we're thinking about things, revising things even still with Mercury retrograde in our mind about these relationships and projects and how we take care of ourselves or love ourselves or value and respect ourselves, as well as in any other matter like career, money, finances, right? And then also on Monday, we've got the sun, which is in Libra now. We had the sun moving into Libra, signifying in the northern hemisphere the fall equinox, in the southern hemisphere the spring equinox. And that was September 22nd of last week. So the sun now is moving forward through the sign of Libra, and it's opposing Jupiter, the planet of expansion, belief systems, philosophies, higher learning, higher understanding. And Jupiter is retrograde in Aries right now. And of course, Aries energy is very much about the individual, and it's very much about confidence and courage and independence. So here we have the sun focusing its light and shining its light through the partnership relationship sign for the next approximately a month, where it's looking at the needs of the other, or trying to balance the needs and desires of the other people in our lives. But it's opposing Jupiter, which is in this individualistic sign of Aries. So we're really kind of looking at what is it that we perceive, what is it that we believe, especially about relationships, and how can we maybe widen our perspective, or even maybe possibly shift our perspective in regards to what's going on. Libra wants harmony, peace, balance, equality, justice in all dealings. Jupiter expanding its energy in the sign of Aries is like, well, what about me? I have certain needs and wants and desires too. So we're trying to balance these two things. On Tuesday, finally Tuesday, the 27th, we have Mercury in Virgo, retrograde still, in a positive trine to Pluto. So on Monday, we had Venus trine Pluto. Tuesday, we have Mercury trine Pluto. So here again, we're empowering our thoughts. We're moving into a more empowered way of thinking or understanding or communicating with other people. So again, we're speaking our truth very succinctly with Virgo, very logically with Virgo. Not in a mean way, but we're definitely setting a verbal boundary perhaps in some way. Or we're just speaking out our ideas, our thoughts that might have to do with career or business on some level, and we're just feeling more empowered, or we're bringing in this idea of transformation and death and rebirth in some area of our lives. Also on Tuesday the 27th, we have Mars in Gemini in a positive aspect to Saturn in Aquarius. Now Mars is the planet of energy, action, forward movement. He's the warrior. Right now he's putting all of his energy into the Gemini sign, which is all about, again, thought, thinking, ideas, information, curiosity, learning, maybe even teaching. It's all about communication with Gemini. So Mars is putting his energy into all of those thinking, speaking, writing, expressing, the ideas and whatnot. The positive trine to Saturn. Well, Saturn does rule karmic lessons and sometimes limitations, restrictions, and delays, but this is a positive connection. So we want to look at the positive side of Saturn, which is about restructuring, bringing something into manifestation, providing a solid foundation or a sense of security within something. And with Saturn being in Aquarius, that's also a sign that rules the mind and the mental realm. Ideas and visions for the future, and coming together with people of like mind and communicating and talking about how can we make lives better, how can we make the planet better, what can we do. So this is a positive, both of these are positive aspects on Tuesday, with the empowering communication between Mercury and Pluto, or moving into your power verbally, and Mars and Gemini putting the ideas kind of into action and bringing them into manifestation. So that's a really, to me, it's a good day there. We skip over to Thursday the 29th, and we have Venus, planet of love, relationships, money, finances, values, and self-worth, moving into Libra, one of her home signs. So she's now out of Virgo, and she's now joined the sun in Libra. So she's feeling more balanced and more harmonious, and she's paying attention more in a way of kind of beauty and gratitude and receptivity to all of her relationships. Of course, she still wants equality and she still wants justice, so we're still kind of weighing pros and cons, but it's much more of a peacemaking sort of placement here for Venus in Libra. Got to be careful not to placate too much or be too much of a peacemaker and kind of sweep your own needs and wants under the carpet, right? We want to make sure that everybody's needs are getting met here. And then on Saturday, we move into the 1st of October. So now we're transitioning into a new month energy. And on Saturday the 1st, we have Venus just newly in Libra, and now she's opposing Jupiter in Aries. So again, Jupiter's expanding that individualistic, assertive, independent, sort of energy of Aries, but needing to balance with that peace and harmony, compromise, diplomacy energy of Venus in Libra regarding relationships. Then Sunday, the 2nd of October, this is when Mercury turns back to direct motion. Mercury, by this point, has gone back to 24 degrees of Virgo. So it's going to actually, now that it's turning back to direct motion, it stays in Virgo, moving forward now until October 10th, when it moves back into Libra, which is the sign where it started its retrograde motion. And by the time it's out of its shadow period of this retrograde, it will be October 17th. And what that means is when Mercury went retrograde at 8 degrees of Libra a few weeks ago, the shadow period lasts until Mercury passes that 8 degree of Libra mark. And again, that's going to be October 17th. And that's going to be a time when any kind of revision or communications with other people to kind of go over and revise things, or to sort things out, smooth things over with challenges, perhaps in relationships or in work matters. All of that stuff of the Mercury retrograde should finally start to settle out, balance out, and be ironed out by October 17th when it moves out of its shadow. You'll probably even feel a difference in the shift of energy when Mercury moves out of Virgo, which is its home sign, but then into Libra on October 10th. Okay, so that's a little bit about what's going on astrologically. Let's go ahead and see what our angels and guides have to tell us from the cards that were drawn in my meditation. So we've got a total of 4 cards. As many of you know, I always try to stick to 3, but often, and more often than not, there's more than that. So the first card came out by itself. And the first card is the 5 of Pentacles. Now, the 5 of any suit in the tarot is usually about confusion, lack of focus, upset, scattered energy, too many things going on at once. But it's interesting that in this card, the 5 of Pentacles, this person is sitting kind of in a stillness, okay? It doesn't look crazy. It doesn't look scattered or ungrounded, except for maybe these little lights that you see everywhere. Now, the suit of Pentacles, what is that all about? Well, the wands would be more the creative and artistic and spiritual realm. The cups would be more the emotions, the emotional realm. The swords is more of our ideas, the mental realm, communication. But the pentacles is all about earthly matters. So the Five of Pentacles, it's going to bring in things like career, work, finances, money, practical energies within home and family matters. All of those things that are physically tangible to us. Now, typically, I would think the Five of Pentacles again would be that there's maybe challenges in finances or challenges in the career, or too many things being juggled in our everyday life that's going on that leaves us feeling scattered and confused. But again, when I look at the imagery of this card, this person is sitting kind of in this canyon. It almost looks like. It looks like she's surrounded by big rocks or some mountains. It's like a mountain path or something. And she's sitting there by herself, and she's quite still, and she's quite silent, and she doesn't even have a worried look on her face. I had to look at that a little closely. She's almost like she's in meditation. So one could assume that maybe there was a lot going on, and she chose to go somewhere by herself to reflect, have some peace, think about things, meditate on things, try to understand things. And all of these little lights, there's a big light down here, but there's all these little lights here around her. That could be all of the stuff that's happening, all the situations, all the circumstances floating around, that are happening in her life. But she's choosing again to step back, to step away from, to be objective about, at least in this moment, about everything that's going on. So this to me is a message to take that time out. As we said, Mercury is going back to direct motion, but not until the end of this week. So as Mercury is still retrograde, again, there might be just a lot of things that we're thinking about, a lot of circumstances and situations that are happening right now that need some sort of resolution. And this person, in order to get clarity, is kind of going off by herself in kind of this silent retreat or meditation. So take a time out, go out into nature, get some alone time, do some meditation, some self-reflection, and just try to bring a sense of groundedness to all the busy aspects of life that are happening and all the confusion and scattered energy that may be happening. Become this person where she's taking a breath, right? She's taking a breath and doing some self-care, and she's just getting away from it all, even if it's for an hour or two, to kind of sort things out and get grounded again. Because as you get grounded again, things become more clear. And as you get grounded again, you're able to make better decisions. As you get grounded, the kind of swirling energy that's called life can kind of settle down a little bit, and it doesn't seem so challenging to us. So that's how I would interpret this card. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next card. The next card came out as 2 cards. So the first of those cards is Major Arcana 6, the Lovers. Isn't that interesting? So we are in Libra season, which is about relationships. Venus also this week moves into her home sign of Libra. Again, Venus can rule partnerships and relationships, and now she's going to be in the sign of partnerships and relationships, balance, harmony, equality, fairness. Isn't it interesting, though, that this particular Lovers card doesn't just have a man and a woman, 2 lovers. It has 3 people here. So we have 2 women on either side of a man in the middle. So this doesn't necessarily mean that there's extramarital things going on in relationship and that somebody's looking elsewhere or even acting elsewhere within relationship matters. But it can mean that outside people are affecting the relationship. Like, here's the man, he's looking at this woman here more closely, even though he's in the middle. This woman he's not looking at, but she's looking at him. So it could almost mean that there's some outside influences on the relationship. Other people, other friends, people that you work with, family members that are maybe saying things, giving maybe unwanted, unwelcomed advice, or maybe it's welcomed and wanted advice, but still their energy seems to be overshadowing the relationship. There seems to be something there with at least one other person that, I won't say it's causing the upset, because, you know, there might have already been some challenges there with the Mercury retrograde between you and the other, the romantic partner, the friend, the family member, the coworker, the boss, whatever, right? Because lovers doesn't just mean romantic. But it's almost as if these two people can't sort anything out and come to some sort of resolution because the outside influences, and this person too could just represent outside influences. It doesn't have to be other people. It could be representative of money matters, financial situations, you know, living situation, a career situation with one of these people, that this could represent just some outside circumstances that are weighing on, or, you know, having an effect on this relationship between this man and this woman. Now, the traditional Lovers card also has a secondary meaning. It also means choices. It's about choices, decisions that we have to make. It's Major Arcana 6, and if you think about a three-pointed triangle facing up, and it's laying a three-pointed triangle facing down, it creates a six-pointed Star of David. And so it's about balance, the balance of the feminine and the masculine, the balance of as above, so below, the balance of different aspects of it in our lives. And sometimes when there's, you know, these two different sides. Again, the one triangle is facing up, the other one's facing down. What does that mean? So there could be pros and cons to different situations. There could be choices, either or, that needs to be made. Should I go this direction or that direction? You know, what's the right choice for me to make? And again, the choice could be in relationship, but it could be in other matters as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next card that came out actually with this one. Okay. The next card that came out with that is also a Major Arcana. This is Major Arcana 14. It's Temperance. So what is temperance? Temperance is a word that means, you know, to try to find a balance, which is interesting with the Libra energy that we have going on. Libra is all about balance, but it doesn't mean that Libras, or when we're in Libra season, that we always have this balance. In fact, it's about attaining balance, aspiring towards balance. So here, I think we're aspiring towards some sort of balance in situations or in our relationships. And temperance also means to have patience. It's about having a little bit of patience as things kind of rebalance themselves and sort themselves out. So temperance, and you can see here that she's got a spark of fire. I gotta get the right hand here. She's got a flame or spark of fire in one hand, and the other hand she's putting it in a waterfall. So we've got fire and water. So temperance is also about taking two or more elements or two or more situations that are very different from one another, and trying to kind of find a way to merge them. It's about alchemy, right? So it's like turning lead into gold or water into wine. So we're taking these elements that are representative of something else in our life, the fire and the water. We're trying to put them together and merge them. They're very different from one another, right? But we're trying to merge them to bring about something new, to bring about some sort of balance. And to do that, we have to have patience. We have to be balanced within ourselves. We have to, have that time to move through that process. And so whatever's going on here in situations and or relationships, give it a little bit of time, and this might be Mercury turning back to direct motion and then moving forward, finally going into Libra on the 10th of October, getting out of its shadow by the 17th. It might yet be, 2 or 3 weeks before we can sort out whatever this represents, the choices, the decisions, the situations, the relationship matters that outside forces are kind of involved with, that are kind of, I don't want to say tainting it, because we don't really know what those outside forces, what they're doing. If they're, again, giving some sort of guidance or information that maybe isn't the best, or if, again, the relationship, the outside force or circumstance might be a family matter that's causing upset, topsy-turvy energies. So, whatever that is, just have patience for it to alchemize and work itself out and to become something different. Okay? Let's take a look at the last card here to wind up the energy. And this is a great one. This is the Page of Wands. So the pages are messengers, and it's all about information. The suit of wands is the suit of spirit, creativity, inspiration. It's very passionate energy. It's artistic energy. It's, again, that energetic, inspiring kind of energy. And you can see that the page here, has a lightning bolt. Is he reaching up to the lightning bolt, or is he causing the lightning bolt? I don't know. But this, to me, at the end of the reading, is saying there's more information to come. Mercury is going to turn back to direct motion on Sunday, and there's more kind of aha moments, clarity, inspiration, epiphanies. That's what the lightning bolt means to me. It's like the universe is like, here's some information, here's some clarity, here's something you didn't think of, here's that epiphany that you were looking or waiting for, okay? And so those messages are going to come in, and they're going to provide the needed information and guidance, perhaps, that's needed for this page to be able to make the best decisions and choices, and to be able to communicate in the best way what he needs to as he takes that next step on his journey, okay? This is a very creative energy too, right? This is like fire. Wands is fire, and that's very creative energy. So if you're involved in any creative project, or you're working on writing, or anything that's creative, then this is a great energy to have this week. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. So that first stone of choice was the garnet. Let's take a shuffle here and ask for special message for the week for the people that chose the garnet. And I'm waiting for one as I open my eyes occasionally to pop out at me. For the garnet people, this one's popping out. Garnet. Peace. Talk about a Libra term, right? Focus on peace this week. Peace of mind, peace within yourself, peace within your relationships, peace in all situations. Even if you're working with technology like me and sometimes gets frustrated, focus on peace, right? So in this we have, this is, I was looking at the number of the card, it's number 23. Interesting, the number 23, if you add those numbers together, is the number 5, which can be about change. So it has the feeling like there's something shifting and changing, but as you're moving through the shifts and the changes, again, aspire towards retaining a sense of peace within your body, mind, and soul. And this could be, too, that maybe you're going through something physically. Your mantra should be, my body is at peace. My body is at peace. Or if you're going through something emotionally or mentally, my mind is at peace. My heart is at peace. My relationships are at peace. Aspire with, towards peaceful interactions with other people within relationships. This has an egg in it, and the egg has a face on it. To me, when I see an egg, it almost feels like new birth, like that egg's gonna crack open and the little chickadee is gonna come out or whatever, signifying something new, something initiating a new birth and fresh energy. So maybe peace, that idea of peace or attaining peace within a situation or relationship, is going to be new to you or new for the situation. So know that, I feel like, again, this has to do with Mercury turning back to direct motion. I feel like that egg cracks open for that newfound sense of peace. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that all of a sudden magically you're going to have peace within a relationship that's been challenged for a very long time. But perhaps when that egg cracks open, it's the beginning or birth of a new sense of peace within yourself, because you've come to a newfound sense of clarity about what your next step is or what you need to do to continue to have peace in your life. So remember, this can work out in different ways, okay? All right, let's go ahead. Let's put that card back. Let's take a look at the special message card for the people that chose the Soda Light. Soda Light people. Okay, I was shuffling. I feel like this one needs to come out. Never-ending story. Okay. So whenever I get this card, I always feel like we're on this hamster wheel. We're on this hamster wheel of a way of thinking or believing or experiencing a certain situation. It's a never-ending story, and we need to get out of the loop. We need to get out of the loop. And this person is sitting on top of an hourglass. So to get out of that loop of the never-ending story, I feel like you're going to be getting out of the never-ending story. You have to, first of all, intend it, right? And make a decision to remove yourself from that repeated way of thinking or believing or experiencing something. But I feel like there's a time period involved here. You have to have a little bit of patience. It almost feels like divine timing is at play here. So it's like waiting for the inspired moment when you get the message from Spirit that it's time now. Like it's time to make a change. It's time to redirect. It's time to make a move. Or just having patience through the process of allowing whatever that never-ending story is to kind of shift away on its own. Calling in the healers of the light and asking them to help to remove that loop that you're in, right? So as you ask for help to remove yourself from the loop that you're in, the divine timing of the when, that might be based on the astrological energies and how it connects with your personal astrology chart, to kind of open that door and say, you know what, we're done with that piece of karma. We're done with that way of thinking, believing, perceiving, and experiencing. So there's some sort of time involved here. Just have a little bit of patience. Don't ruminate on things. Don't get stuck in your head. This person's, got her hand to her head and she's like, oh gosh. Don't get caught up in that kind of head space drama, okay? This is number 37. The 3 is about expanding into a new positive perspective. The 7 is about connecting with your internal kind of inner wisdom, the wisdom of your higher soul self. Those are both numbers that deal with the mental realm. And together they add up to the number 10, which is about a new beginning. So that new beginning is coming, okay? Just have a little bit of patience. And then for those of you that chose the emerald people, special message for emerald. This one's sticking up right here. This one says, ooh, all that glitters. What's that saying? All that glitters isn't necessarily gold. So what's the message? We have a couple of masks on top of this pile of glittering gold. There's like rays of sunlight shining down upon the gold, making it glitter. It's like enticing. This is the way to go. This is very beautiful, enticing. This is perfect. This is what I want. But they're saying here, remember that all that looks appealing, it's almost like that saying, the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. So make sure that you're not throwing something away, giving up on something because you think that what's on the other side of the fence is better. Because it might be glittery and pretty and beautiful, and maybe it even is going to be great for a time. But these masks are saying that it's partly just an illusion. That in every situation, in every relationship, in every circumstance, there's learning lessons we go through as souls. It's not always all great. We might look at our own lives and say, why is it taking so long? Or why do I keep having this pattern? Or Why do I keep attracting this situation or this type of relationship? Look at that person over there. Look at my sister, my friend, that movie star, whatever it might be. Their life is all together. They have everything they want. Again, all that glitters isn't necessarily gold. There's things going on underneath the surface, behind the scenes that you don't always know. And just like they say, Hollywood, right, is the illusion. And it is. It's just a fantasy and illusion. Now, just kind of be sure that you're not giving up on something prematurely or throwing in the towel, job, career, money, finance, home, family, where you're living, friendship, etc. Don't throw in the towel necessarily because you think there's something better, that other thing, that other person, that other place or whatever is going to be better. There's always going to be something that needs its attention for our soul to evolve through. Now, conversely, sometimes what's on the other side of the fence is better. So the other thing that they're talking about here is that these masks could be metaphoric for, again, just pay attention and do your research. Take off that mask and see the other person's situation, way of thinking, believing, or perceiving. Look at it from a different perspective and take a little time with it first. Do a little research, do a little digging. Again, Mercury, as it's retrograde, is not a time to make a huge, major decision or change in your life if you can help it. So again, I feel like there's still, in some of your cases, might be something better, and what's glittering may in fact be wonderful and the gold and the blessings that you've been looking for. But don't wear that mask, because there are going to be little things here and there that you need to see for what it is. See the reality for what it is, and it still might be the best choice for you. But I would wait until after Mercury retrograde, when those masks come off, so to speak, and Mercury's direct and provides more clarity about situations in your life, before kind of making that decision about whether what glitters is where you want to go. Okay? All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your love, support, and comments. For those of you that took my tarot class, it's been really fun so far, and we're finishing up right now. Hopefully we'll do it again in the future. So sending you all lots of love and light and many, many blessings. Namaste, everyone.